T.I. in the studio right now. His first interview on the Ryan Cameron Show right here on the People Station V103 BET Hip Hop Awards weekend. We talked earlier about the relationship between BET. You can almost say BETI, as we said.
BETI, that's right.
Earlier, you know, we did a whole entire show, Tip, about you, and did people feel like, okay, this is where Tip is mentally, that he is saying never again. How do you feel in your heart, like, okay, I know I said that before, but...
Sure. Well, hey, man, I mean, this is how I feel in my heart. I feel more so than anyone else. I mean, I owe that to myself. You know, I really don't owe anyone any explanation, and I think that I had to grow to that point. You know, I can't live for y'all. You know, y'all like my music, and I appreciate that. Y'all like me as a person. You support my endeavors. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. However, I can't explain and you know, I don't owe all these explanations to all these different peoples that I don't even know. You know, if you have disagreements with the way I move, with the way I operate, that's fine, and you know, you're entitled to it. But at the end of the day, man, I got to live my life for these people, for my family, for my children, and I'm going to do what's best for them. And I know you don't have to believe me,
right?
And I can't make you believe me. There's nothing that I can say to make you believe me, and there's nothing that I can say that's going to make you feel better about me. I got to live for them, so you know, I'm focusing on them, and people gonna say what they want to say. They gonna feel how they want to feel, regardless about T.I.
Right?
You know, and they gonna have their own reasons for doing so. And I've also noticed that, even more so than me not breaking the law, they're worried about me being me. They trying to keep me from being me. I could abide by the law and you know, and do everything that I'm supposed to do on paper, but there are certain things that I do that involve that my life allows me to do.
Right.
I.e. ride a bus from so-and-so to so-and-so, which is totally within the law, but because someone says I disagree with it and I don't like that, you know, then that puts me in a certain, you know what I'm saying, a certain public perception. And I'm gonna be me, you know what I'm saying? My life ain't your life, you know what I'm saying? Because I chose a different path, I followed a different dream, and so I have different benefits that you may not have, and you got to take that into consideration. You know, people say, oh, he's coming home and he has so much going on. Yes, because that's my life. That's how I'm going. I have 3 parties because I have a lot of celebrating to do, because I can, and that's my life.
That's the Tip I know.
You know
He's back.
And you know, and I think that I ain't got to break no law to do that. But y'all got to let me live, champ. You know, I can't live like you. I ain't you. You know, I don't have a Honda Accord. I don't. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. You know, you got to put these shoes on for a minute and walk in these shoes in order for you to understand where I'm coming from. But until then, man, I can't explain myself to everybody.
T.I. in the studio with us right now on the Ryan Cameron Show. His first interview. You talked about it. You touched on it. The streets were saying that the warden and the people who knew all of these things were going to happen, they signed off on them, and then said, now we will send a message and show him.
Man, you know what? I ain't gonna get into all of that. I don't know what the warden knew. I don't know I really can't speak. I ain't got to the bottom of it yet, and I probably will never get to the bottom of it.
Is there something at the bottom?
I don't know, and I never will. You know why? Because I'm too focused on the future. I'm too focused on the future and things that are positive to even be looking back at that. I handled that. You know what I'm saying? I endured it. I made it through. I survived, and now I'm here, stronger, better, and it didn't break me. You know, I'm sure, you know, even if that was the intention, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here, and I'm moving forward. And I don't care who was behind it. I don't care what they meant to do. I only care about my next 50 or some odd years, you know what I'm saying, and remaining right here for these people who need me the most.
So in your focus now, with the music, with everything you're doing, with the clothing line, which, you know, went through the roof while you were away, that had to send a message to you that you are not only relevant, but also a brand maker. You and Jay Jeter have done things. Yeah. Shout out to Jay Jeter getting an award for the community work that he's been doing. I mean, the King Foundation, that regardless of, like you said earlier, what people say, you continue to do good because those recognize your heart.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. I think that it has became... it has become, I think, overshadowed the things that I've done by the mistakes that I've made. And I think that in entertainment, nowadays we get away from a person actually, like the bad decisions that he make. It takes your attention away from him actually being a good person. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so if you got someone who's never been to jail, you got someone who's, you know, who's never done drugs, who's never been in hazardous circumstances, but they're just a horrible person.
Right.
Are you telling me that means more, and that's a better person? That's a better person to be around and a better person to support than someone who's made bad decisions but deep down has a pure heart? Now, I mean, which one is more valid? Which one is more substantiated? And I think that has to be taken into consideration. I think that has to be taken into high consideration. And also, me sitting back and looking, and my question to whomever has something bad to say about T.I. is, okay, who you got with no criminal record, who doesn't do drugs, who's never been to prison, and who has such a clean slate and a clean face? Who do you have that's gonna get out there and tell those kids the story of what not to do, and they're gonna listen to? If not me, no problem, I fall back. Okay, but who? I've been gone. Who's been out there doing it? Who's been doing it? Who's done as much in the community as I have in my absence? And what's their record? If it's clean, then so by all means, go right ahead and do it. But if not, it's not about my record. It's not about my mistakes. It's about the effect that I have on the youth and how much good I can do in the community.
Right.
And that's what needs to be focused on, I believe.
People Station V103, T.I. is in the building in his very first interview. I've got to ask you, because you mentioned that you're able to go out there because you've lived it and say to these kids, like, look what I, came from and did, and look where I am now. Do you ever think about that in regards to your kids as well? Like, as they get older, are you going to be able to, before they hear it out of second and third and fourth hand accounts, like, do you feel like, it's going to be a good tool for you to be able to sit them down and be like, you live in this beautiful house, but dad didn't always have this?
Yeah, well, they know that. They know that because, they go visit, when I go visit my grandparents. When I go visit my granddaddy, man, and they see the neighborhood, they like it because there's more kids, and they, they have more. It's more playful. They see it because
right.
they go in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? There's kids out, we playing football and we kicking it, and you know what I'm saying. So they know, they can see the difference. I'm like, this is the house. I take them to my old room. This is the room I grew up in, and they like, man, it's the size of my closet. I'm like, well, you got to work hard. And I always tell King and my other son, Damani, hey, listen, y'all got to do what y'all got to do and focus so y'all can make your own money.
Right.
Because at a certain age, you're going to have to stop spending daddy's money. That's going to, you know what I'm saying? I got you to a certain point, then you're going to have to fly.
Do the rest.
But but King has a hustler's mentality. He has, as well as Damani, and they all have different parts of me. I'm a multifaceted person, and it seems like all of my children have different parts of my personality.
Right.
Messiah, who's my oldest son, he's more reserved, calm, laid back, the voice of reason.
Okay.
Of all the kids, and Damani, he go a million miles an hour. He's ambitious and he wants the finer things in life, and he just he actually wants to be a rapper.
Okay.
And so school, we got to get that school in him and get the foundational structure of what it takes to maintain a business.
Right.
As well as King. King, he just money crazy. Him, so and Deja, she's a young, beautiful young lady, man, a wonderful girl, and she's smart, intelligent, talented, and you know what I'm saying. And Major here, he's a charmer and a quiet guy usually. I don't know what's gotten into him today.
Yeah, he's
excited right now. Yeah, he's excited
so
right
cute.
now.